School. What we're going to talk about today is survival in winter outdoor strategies for conditions like it is right now, right here today. Okay? The biggest mistake that anybody makes going out in the woods or going on a trip, just leaving their house, is leaving their house ill-prepared. If you learn these 10 vital pieces of equipment and know how to use them properly, they're multi-function, multi-purpose. You can do virtually anything. All 10 of these C's are available on the back of this card at the Pathfinder store, if you're wondering where to find them. But we're going to go over the goods here in the You guys, anybody need them? Everybody, this is William Myers from Mantis Outdoors, and we're going to go over what we consider the very basic kit, which is a 10-piece kit. On the reverse side of the cards that you have in your hands, you're going to notice there's 10 C's, and Will's going to talk about them right now.
Alright guys, like I said, my name is William Myers. I'm going to show you what we carry on a daily basis when we're in the woods. First, I'd like to start out by saying if you go to your local stores and things like that, big chain stores, you find those little packages, say emergency kit or survival kit. That's a big word that's going around a lot, survival kit. You know, a little orange package about that big. It's really not going to do too much. What's on this table right now is an emergency kit. This is a survival kit, supplemental kit. This is what's going to maximize your percentages to coming back from a mechanical injury or being lost in the woods or something like that. And the first thing that's on the list is a cutting tool. And something that's robust and beefy, something that's going to be able to beat on, help process wood, something that's going to be stout and not break on. Second is a container of some kind. First of all, a big percentage of this kit can fit in this container, first of all. Second of all, it's stainless steel, and it's 32 ounces. So there's big pluses there. I can boil my water. The CDC, per the CDC, only 100% way to make your water safe to drink is to break to a rolling boil. That's the only way. Chemical treatment, filtering treatments, they're not 90, they're 98, 97, 99%. The only 100% way to make sure that you kill any kind of pathogen, cryptosporidium, giardia, anything like that, is to boil your water. Third is a combustion device. Something that's going to make fire for you. Something that's going to work, whether it's wet, damp, snowy, frozen, something that's going to be able to affect fire. And something that's going to give you sure fire. Fourth is cordage. Now, this is easy enough to replicate in the wild. You can do 2 ply reverse wrap cordage. You can just strip bark off something. But it's easy just to carry 100 foot of this than to even make 50. Very calorie inducing, very strenuous. So you can make 45, 50 foot of this stuff. And last but not least is number 5 on the 5-piece kit is a covering device. Something that's going to help you affect shelter, something that's going to help you control your core body temperature with or without a fire. This can be used, the silver mylar on this can be used to reflect the long wave radiation from the fire and your radiant body heat as well. I think Jamie will go that more in depth in here in a little bit. Alright, so those are the basic 5 C's. And that's what's the hardest things to replicate in the wild. And the hardest things to find is a rock that's suitable to make a knife. It's extremely difficult and time consuming to burn in a container out of a piece of wood if you affect fire. It's hard enough to affect friction fire. These are the things that is very difficult to replicate in the wild. So furthermore, the last 5 on these are what's going to help you just get home. And that's cargo tape, duct tape. Gorilla brand duct tape is the best, I don't care what anybody says. This stuff sticks when it's wet and it's cold. I've had, Scotch brand, all the other name brands, they fail. They failed me at least. A cotton bandana. This is first aid. These two combined is first aid. These are bandages. This is charcoal to affect your next fire. If you guys already know what that is, you know, there's a lot that this can do for you. A candling device. Something that's going to help you see at night. By the time night comes, you should already be ready to be in your shelter. It's really not a great idea to be navigating at night. But these will also help you hunt, get food. If you guys have ever been frog gigging or anything like that. Also, this is first aid at night. Be able to see what's inside your body, what's the splinter that you just got, things like that. Also, there's batteries in the back of this. Can affect fire for you. This is a cloth sail needle. This is really good for first aid as well. You hear that coming up a lot in these last 5. First aid, first aid, first aid. They replicate first aid. That's why you don't see a first aid kit up here, because I have a first aid kit. It's within the last 5 seasons of my kit. This can dig splinters out of it. This can be pre-magnetized with a battery to act as an improvised compass. There's lots of things that this can do. Last but not least, a compass, a good compass. This can also act, finding ticks on me where I can't see with my regular body. This can start a fire with the magnifying lens that's in it. Plus, it's a navigation tool. All right, guys, so Jamie kind of covered the priorities of survival at that point. You know, he's talking about water and things like that. So you think water is your number 1 priority? You really need water. As soon as it happens, something happens, you twist your ankle, something happens to where maybe you're lost in the woods, you got to find water right then and there, right? Actually, you need to find a way to control your core body temperature. Rules of 3 is you have 3 minutes without air, plus or minus how healthy you are. You have 3 hours of exposure, which can lead to hypo or hyperthermia. Excuse me. 3 days, you can live without water. It's not fun, trust me. It is a priority. You're going to want to find water. And you can go 3 weeks without food. So your priorities, you have to put your priorities in order. You have to know what you're doing. But controlling your core body temperature is number 1 in your priority list. Obviously, if you can't breathe, that would be a priority as well. But like I said, controlling your core body temperature, that starts with how you leave the house. That starts with what's on your body. Okay, being prepared for your illness, being prepared for what you're going into. Watch the news. Is it going to rain today? Is it going to snow today? Is it below 0? Is it 100 degrees? What you choose to leave the house is the beginning of controlling your core body temperature. And then what you choose to pack with you in the event of an emergency is also thinking about controlling your core body temperature. Then 3 days without water, then you start thinking about where am I going to find water? Well, snow, obviously this time of year snows everywhere. You know, as long as you're able to affect fire, you're going to be able to get some water. There's lakes and streams that are still around. You're going to have to disinfect that water. There's things like Cryptosporidium, Giardia, little nasty bugs out there that are going to be very, very sick if you don't disinfect your water. Yeah. Then you can get some critters. You ain't gonna go hungry. And that's another priority.
If you eat, okay, get this, let's say you brought it down, and you got squirrels and rabbits everywhere, and you shoot a few squirrels and rabbits, and you're eating all that protein,
But you don't have no water.
your body takes more water to process and digest all them meats. Your body needs actually more water the more you eat. Even if you're eating greens, but especially meat and proteins, to break it down, to effectively use them calories properly, unless it's an insoluble fat, okay? In animal fat, you need water to process that down twice as much.
So Jamie makes a really good point as priorities would go. So if I don't have any water, but I know that I'm comfortable and I'm controlling my core body temperature, but I have rabbits and squirrels that I can see just crawling all over me. But I don't have a sure way that I know I'm getting water yet. I gotta wait till tomorrow morning to go scout that out. I'm gonna wait. My priorities are gonna change. I might hold off on eating right now until I get some water secured. Yeah.
No, you know what? whistle, I bet you if you're walking through bear or moose country and you start tooting that whistle every time you take a step, you're going to give a big enough warning to any animal out there that I bet you they're going to make a wide berth around you, not even seeing it. If you hear sticks and twigs breaking at night and you're in your tent and you're getting scared, blow that whistle. You're not hurting nobody. But you know what? It may scare off that animal, or it may tell if there's a person outside your tent that, hey, you're prepared, you have a whistle, you have a tent, you may have a gun, you may have a weapon, you may have a cell phone. You're prepared. That says a lot. That means that you have one more thing that's going to effectively take care of your body and get you home safely. You know, that's what a cheap $1 whistle will do for you. It'll signal for rescue, it'll keep the boogeyman at bay, it'll keep the bears away.
Same thing goes with this. Being able to affect fire is going to do more than just warm the body. You're going to be able to make certain things on the fire. You're going to be able to cook. You'll be able to signal for rescue. You're going to be able to keep the boogeyman away or whatever animal is going to come get you. I can tell you, I've been in a lot of woods by myself, and I'm sure anything you can cook because I've never had any problem with boogeyman. I've been in a lot of woods. 3 days here, 3 hours here. Those are just broad-based generalizations. Those can be plus or minus any amount of time. You know, so you really want to listen to your body. You want to be in tune with your body. You want to know what's going on with yourself. I'm starting to feel dizzy. I'm starting, my urine's almost brown. I'm getting dehydrated. You need to know what's going on with yourself and your body. Okay. Let's see. And I'm going to run a line between both of these trees right here. And when I'm doing that, I want things to be as simple and easy as possible. I might be cold. I might not be able to run my fingers the way I want to and not be able to use them right. So I want things to be pretty simple. So I want to use simple knots. The first knot that I'm going to talk about is the bowline. Okay? And I'm going to start by just making a simple loop around my fingers, just like that, okay? I'm going to take that off my fingers and I'm going to pinch that loop. Very simple, okay? Now my tag in right here, I'm going to pop it through the loop, through the hole, right? I'm going to run it around my line just like this. See? Just like that. And I'm going to put it back in the hole. Just like that. Okay? It's called a bowline knot. That's not going to move, it's not going to slip. And there's a very simple way to explain how to do that. And if I make my loop again, I can explain it by, this is a rabbit. Okay, guys? So rabbit comes out of the hole, right? Rabbit goes around the tree. And then rabbit goes back in the hole. Okay? And that's not going to go anywhere. The reason why we do that is we just want a simple loop. Something that we can just take our line and run through. Just need to be self-tight.
The reason why we tie the bowline or choose the bowline knot is because you can break its back, is what it's called. On the back side of that knot, no matter what pressure or pounds you put on that knot, you can take that apart very easily and you don't have to cut your rope.
Now I can really get some torque down on that and get that tight. Then I'm going to come over here. The knot that I'm going to put on this side is what's called the trucker hitch. And the reason why I like to use the trucker hitch is because it's something that I can really wrench on and something I can get a lot of pressure on. And the way that I do that is I start out by going around the tree. And then I find about 12 to 14 inches from the tree. And I pinch right here, okay? And then I just make a loop, just like that, alright? Very easy. And then all I do is just grab this line and pull it through the loop, just like that, right? Now I can, when I'm done, ready to leave, all I have to do is pull that out. But I can pull on it this way, as much as I want. It's not going anywhere. Now, almost the same way with the other side of the tree, I could put my line through that. And now that gives me an anchor to pull against so that I can get really, really tight. now that ridge line is really, really tight, right? So now I can hang things from this ridge line, and it's not going to sag, it's not going to drag. And all I have to do is come over here and pinch my loop, just like that, okay? You guys can't see, get in closer. Okay? And I take my working end right here, and I just drape it right over, okay? Just make that little loop right there. And then I reach through and grab the other side of the rope and pull it. Now that's not going anywhere. Now what I've done is I've also made a little loop right here. And I'm going to be able to use that loop here in a second when I show you. But again, when I'm ready to go, when I'm ready to try to walk out of the woods, all I have to do is pull down on this and I'm ready to go. So if I'm really, really freezing cold and I can't use my hands to pick this stuff apart, I don't have to. All I have to do is just pull on this and it's ready to go. Okay? We're going to use that loop here in a second. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and make another. Alright guys, so another thing we like to do is something that's going to be able to join two pieces of line together, or it's going to be able to make a loop. That's what's called a fisherman's knot, okay? And it's the basic knot, a basic square knot, or overhand knot, on one side. Nothing tough, just a regular knot. But if you see, my tag end is going that way, right? So on the other side, my knot, it's the regular overhand knot. My tag end's going that way, right? So that means I can pull against that and really wrench down on it, and it's going to sandwich itself between each other, and it's not going anywhere, okay? What I can do is come to this side of my ridge line, and I can do what's called a prusik knot. Which all that is that I'm running it 3 times. Just like this. Keeping things as neat as I can. Cleaning that knot up. Alright, the reason why we use these is because I can slide this anywhere I want to, okay? But when it comes time for it to have pressure on it, it won't go anywhere. Oh, maybe this one. There we go. Yeah, now that one won't go anywhere. As much as I pull on that, that's really not going to go anywhere. You might have a little bit of slipping, but that's about it.
What's good about that is you can readjust in the middle of the night if the wind is ripping your tent apart, your tarp apart, and you're getting loose cords. All you got to do is reach out and slide that prusik knot over, and it's going to tighten up your system.
The thing about this paracord is once it's under tension long enough, it's going to stretch. And you're going to have sagging in your tarp and your shelter, things like that. Yeah?
What's the tarp?
I'll show you here in about 2 seconds. Okay, so like I said, yeah, this is just good for real quick adjustments because I can adjust it myself, but it's not going to go anywhere. So this is what we're going to use as our shelter. And like I said, with that trucker's hitch, we made this loop right here. We're going to utilize that loop for the start of our shelter. And what we're going to do is we're going to poke that loop through the grommet hole of our tarp.
Watch this, guys. This is really cool.
And then I can just pick up any stick that I want and just shove it in that hole, just like that. Okay? And then pull right down on that prusik knot, or on that loop. And that's not going anywhere. So did I have to tie any knots? Did I have to do anything? No fuss, no muss. That side of my tarp's up like that. And I'm on to the next side. So pretty much the same thing with this side is that I use my prusik knot in the same general manner as a loop. Put a stick through it, and then I adjust the prusik until my tarp's tight. Now I didn't tie any knots, and my tarp is already attached to my ridgeline.